Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here with 60andMe. 60andMe is a community for women who are aging beautifully and are living their lives with passion and purpose. Now, we write about all kinds of topics related for older women. We talk about travel, nutrition and well-being, financial security, fashion and beauty, and lots of other topics. But I love to do makeup tutorials and review products and inspire women over 60 to just have a go with makeup, just have fun with it. And today I'm going to do a topic that I think is relevant to a lot of people, which is what makeup to wear if you have to wear a mask, if it's obligatory or you just make the choice to wear a mask, and just how to keep the makeup in place. So products, techniques, and just share with you my own learning on this. Now, I have put about 7 or 8 different products on this morning, just an everyday look, and I've used some techniques that I think are interesting that I've been reading about and trying myself, and I want to share that with you. I'm going to go out into the world, and then I'm going to come back and record the results, and then how it is after maybe 6 or 7 hours out in the world shopping and doing various errands in very hot weather today. And then I'll do a separate video on how I did it. I'll do the tutorial showing you the products, both some high-end products I love and also drugstore products too. So stay tuned for that. So I'm now going off into the world. I've got my mask and I'm going to see how this all holds up and look forward to sharing it with you. Hi everyone. Well, it's been about 7 hours since I did the last video when I set out on my journey for the day to test out some makeup products and techniques that you can use while wearing a mask, and just try to demonstrate whether these products are going to be long lasting and not rub off on your mask, and also just that you can feel that they're going to be there for the 24 or 12 hours that they promise. Well, I have some disappointments that I want to share with you when I do the video showing which products I used. I did have to cheat on one thing, but right now I'll tell you what has worked really well. Well, first of all, my mask. Now my mask I chose one that had a white background so you could see. Now there's a little bit of foundation stain near the nose because that's where I tend to always pinch. So that I wasn't surprised at. There were some streaks of foundation on the cheeks, but I did honestly get on and off of trains. I took my mask off when I was walking in the open air, and so the mask was removed a couple of times. It doesn't surprise me that there might be some foundation there. There's a little stain there with lips, and I'll tell you about the lipstick in a minute. Well, in fact, it's not that big. I've got it upside down. It's not too bad. So I think all in all, the makeup that I used and the techniques that I used held up pretty well. Looking at the foundation, I was actually super surprised with this, and I'll tell you just in a second what I used, what products I used. The blush is still there, and I think it looks okay. My eyes, they were, well, of course the mask wasn't on my eyes, but that lasted really well too. And I feel like the only thing that let me down was my lipstick. And I've really learned a lot about lipstick and masks and longevity, and it's a good lesson. So now what I'm going to do now is just take a second, take all my makeup off and start again and show you how I achieved this look and what held up under pressure and what didn't. So I hope that you find this useful. Hi everyone, I want to share with you now the products and techniques I used in putting together a long-lasting makeup application. I do not have any primer on. I made that decision, but I jumped right into foundation. I did some research online with other people who were looking for long-lasting foundations, and there were a lot. There were just so many that people loved, and mostly matte, sort of higher coverage foundations, not the more glossy, glowy tinted moisturizers and BB creams. So one that came up on top, and I actually went out and bought this for myself because I did not own it, was the Maybelline. It's called Super Stay 24 Hours. It comes in a wide range of colors, and it is a matte finish. So that's the one I used, but I also kind of side by side did some experimentation with my Shiseido Synchro Skin Self Refreshing. And this is a very interesting foundation that I love. I've used it many times, and I put them side by side. I didn't notice a lot of difference, but for this purpose, I'm going to use the Maybelline. So I'm going to apply it with a brush. We'll get started, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I had on when you saw the earlier video. So my brush, I'm going to just put some of this on my hand. It goes a long way, so you just need one one and a bit squirts, and then just take your brush and apply. And I'm going to try to do this fairly quickly because I want to get to the interesting parts at the end where I learned some things about makeup under masks that you might find interesting. So I'm going to apply this foundation. It's actually a very nice foundation. I actually was glad that I purchased it, even for not long-lasting purposes. It's actually got some nice features. So I'll apply it around, my face, and I'm just using an Ariane Pool brush, which I adore. I use it for everything, blush, foundation. I'm not a traditional beauty blogger in that way. I don't spend a lot of time, promoting products or, recommending different brushes and so on. I just try to put makeup on that will inspire an older woman to have a go, to really not be afraid of trying things, new products, techniques, and I hope that helps you. So let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna check my mirror in a minute. I love actually applying foundation. It just has such a lovely feeling on your face. And let me just make sure I've got this. I'm gonna put it all over my eyelids. I don't use a lot of concealer, but I did for this purpose because I wanted to share a technique with you. So let's just make sure I've got this all blended in. Of course, at home, you're going to take more time on this, but make sure you're blended. That's the key thing, and down on your neck. Okay, so that is foundation. Now, it's not a terribly matte finish. It's actually, in my opinion, quite, it's got a nice glow to it, but it does dry down very matte. So that's what you need, I think, for a long last. The other thing I learned about foundation and all kinds of application products is to layer them. And I'm going to show you how I layered my blush and the foundation. And I think that helped in keeping it intact and keeping it, sort of long lasting. So blush is, or foundation is on. I am going to do my brows next. Brows, I'm going to use my same product that I always use. Again, it's, I think it's Maybelline. It's called Tattoo Brow. And I think when you've got a mask on, it's really helpful to be able to see your eyes, especially your eyebrows. They kind of frame everything. So let me just put some of this on. I will try to do it carefully. I have very thinning and graying eyebrows, so I need to use something that's got color and texture. This Tattoo Brow is very good. I've been using it now for a couple of years and I really love it. So that's, I think it's blonde. It's the lightest color that they do. But you can see it makes such a difference. And this is not its twin sister. This is just definitely its own eyebrow. And let's see here. Okay, I think, to be honest with you, that is about all I'm going to do with my eyebrows. And that is how I did it when I applied it before. So I'm going to now put some blush on over top of this foundation. I'm going to use a cream blush to start with. And I'm going to use my Honest, it's called Pink Peony or Peony Pink, one of my favorites. It's a really pretty color, and it's the quality of this blush is, for me, amazing. So I'm going to just apply a little dab with my fingers on my cheeks. So cream blush on cream foundation to start with, or liquid foundation. And that's where I think we start this journey. Okay, so I've got a little bit of blush on. Just double check it's even. Bring it up a little bit up to your eyes. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is put some powder on my face to set it. And I'm going to use Mineral Veil by Bare Minerals. It's, in my opinion, one of the best setting powders. I also use RCMA. This is RCMA. You can see the difference in size, and the price is almost the same. So the RCMA is called No Color, the original setting powder, but I'm going to use my Bare Minerals for this purpose. That's what I used when I was putting my makeup together. So I always dab it on my hand. I always feel that gives me a better, just putting it on my hand and then using a nice big fluffy brush. It's Isadora, this brush. I love it. It's really lovely. And then just dab this powder. And don't just brush it, dab it. And get it right into the foundation. Now, some people put their eyeshadow and eye makeup on first. I always tend to go with the foundation and blush. I think it's just a matter of taste. But the reason I'm highlighting this is you need to put some powder on after your foundation and press it in. Okay, so that is even going to calm down my eyebrows. So that's the first step. Now I'm going to work on eyes. Now what I used for eyes was I didn't put any primer on. I decided I would just go ahead with my favorite eyeshadow, which is Frosted, it's called Toasted, and it's by Urban Decay. And I wasn't going to make a big fuss about my eyes. I was going to just apply with my fingers. My favorite, I love this color. I just think it's such a flattering shade for so many different skin types. And I will put that on the lid. And I love working with fingers and eyes. I have brushes, a few, but I don't use, as I mentioned, I don't have crazy, excuse me, a number of brushes. But I am going to take from my Catrice Pro Next Generation Nude. This is my favorite palette. I'm going to take a little bit of a darker color. I think it was, this one right here. And dab it with that one next to it. Just a little bit. And put on, just on the crease. Now it's going to look a little dark because I'm just applying it. And it's quite pigmented. This is a very nice palette, in my opinion. I've talked about it a lot. I love it. I love using it. I love the colors. And I'm just going to use a little fluffy brush to do the crease. Okay, I think this is darker on this side, but we'll even that out in a second. Okay, so that does give your eyes a little bit of depth, and I think that helps because your eyes, when you're wearing a mask, that's all you're going to see. You're going to see your eyes and the top of your cheeks. So let me just blend this in. And okay, so that's all I did with my eyes. And then finally, I took from the palette again, from the Pro Nude Catrice palette, I took one of their shimmers, and I love these shimmers, and I just don't think there's any problem with older women wearing shimmer. This one right here is called, I think it's called Breakthrough or Dramatic. It's a lovely shade, and I use this a lot. I'll put it on with the brush. Can you see what that does to your eyes? It's so, so pretty. And you can use your fingers or a brush. It's just gorgeous. So that is what I did with my eyes. Mascara, I used waterproof mascara, and I used the e.l.f. I just got this recently and I really liked it. It was waterproof, lengthened volume mascara, and I applied that. And that is all I did on my eyes. I'm gonna apply it for you here. Just, use the wiggle technique. And this is incredible eyeshadow, mascara. Every time I put it on, I'm amazed. It's like $6. It's super, super affordable. Can you see? It's a really nice mascara. And if I just, oops, I didn't mean to put it on that lower lash there, but I'll just fix that in a sec. You can just, the idea is to get the base of your eyelashes darkened. So just wiggle the mascara a bit. Okay, so that's kind of it for mascara. That's all I did. Now, mascara is on, eyes are done, back to blush. So I realized that, of course, when I put the powder on, the blush went away, and this layered approach of cream, and then powder really did help. So I'm going to use my, if I can find it, my Orgasm, here it is, my NARS Orgasm blush. It's beautiful. It's one of those things that I honestly think everyone should have this in their little makeup case. It's just a flattering color for so many skin types, and I put it on over top. You don't need much, it's actually quite pigmented, but it just gives that little extra glow on top of the cream and on top of the powder. So that layering approach, I think, for me, was the secret to keeping your makeup long lasting. And I know there's lots of other products you can get on the market, but I think this really worked for me. Sirens in the background, excuse me. Okay, I didn't use bronzer, I just used the eyeshadow, or the eye blush, and that was all I put on my face. Now, I went back to the setting powder. I put a little bit more on my hand, a little bit more on the brush, did a powder again. I'm going to get to lips in a minute because it was probably the most important thing that I learned. Okay, so that was it. Now you can use setting spray if you want on top of everything, but I'll do that in a second. I've got a couple of suggestions for that. So lips, oh my God. I looked at so many lipsticks. I am not kidding. I've got to show you some of these. It was unbelievable. I purchased these all myself and I tried so many lipsticks. What I discovered was I cannot wear matte lipstick. Maybelline does some really good, they're called crayons. Stay, again in that Stay Sure line. The challenge with these, and I would suggest you take a look at them, is that the color doesn't actually match what's on the outside. So when you look at these on the shelf, and you can't try them on right now because of the situation with the virus, is you look at this color and you think it's going to be kind of a peachy color, and it's not. The colors are completely different. The only one that I used that really did was okay was the pink, and I did, but I'm not going to show you that because it dries on my lips so much that I just can't wear them. And even with a mask on where you're breathing, breathing the air kind of maybe for a few minutes, if you're on a bus or whatever, it just doesn't work for me at all. I tried Catrice Matte. This was not good at all. This was in fact the one I was wearing on the video. When I got to a shop, after about half an hour, it had completely dried on my lips and I just wiped it all off completely. I could not use this. So don't, in my opinion, it did not work for me. The Catrice product, which was the more affordable, it didn't work for me. I tried CoverGirl, which is actually a nice lipstick, and I probably will wear this. It's 24-hour matte, it says. Again, it dried my lips so much that I could not wear them. I tried Kiko. They had a 24-hour or a long-lasting, I think it was 12-hour. It didn't help. The only thing that helped was to use a stain. Now, if you don't want to use a stain, because these, trust me, are very staining. I'm going to put these down for a sec. They actually do give your lips a huge stain that lasts forever. So be very, very careful with stains that you like, the color that you purchased. The only one that I could find that I liked was an orange, a bright orange color, and it was okay. But I'm going to show you this on my hand because if I can do this. Okay, I'm showing you the color there. Now you can see it. It's actually nice color, but I'll just wait 2 seconds, and when it dries, you cannot remove it. I don't even want to try because I'm going to use my fingers, but you cannot rub it off. It is on there forever. Well, for 3 or 4 hours, or until you scrub it off with soap and water. So I tried all kinds of things, and the one that I did find that I thought was a good product was this one by Max Factor. It's Lipfinity. Now, I know Max Factor's not available everywhere, but for me, this was the one lipstick that, of all those ones that I tried, that stayed on. It was called Matte Satin. And maybe that's what you look for when you're looking for lipstick. So you want matte, you want long lasting, but you want something that's satin. So that's what I'm going to show you in a second. This is what I'm now going to wear. I tried 2 lip liners. One was, it's actually Rimmel, I think, and it's a beautiful, this is, which one is it? Oh, this is NYX. This is another, there's 2 lip liners that are very similar. This is NYX, it's natural. And I really like this. The other option, by the way, for lips is to just put lip liner on and a gloss and just deal with the mask. Don't worry about it rubbing off. I actually found that when I put my mask on, my lips were not touching the mask, especially if you wear those masks that are a little bit pointed. So I kind of gave up on lipstick. I mean, I was happy that the foundation stayed on, that was a really nice cover, and I will continue to use that for a while. But the lips, I thought, I'm just going to relax. I'll just take my lipstick and touch up when I take the mask off. I just could not find a matte lipstick. Maybe you've got one that you'd like to recommend. But again, everybody's lips are different. Some people can wear matte lipstick and it doesn't bother them at all. Other people like me just cannot wear a matte lipstick. So I'm going to now put some lip liner on here. This one by NYX. I've got so many things on my desk here. Okay, here we go. This is a nice brownie color. And I like this one. I normally put it all over my lips. I'm going to do that. See, it's just a very neutral color, which is perfect. And it also keeps those little wrinkly bits on your lips. It stops the lipstick from creeping out. Okay, so that's that. Now, lipstick. I'm sorry I didn't discover this one before I did the video to start with, but I think you'll find that this is a good recommendation. Just give it a try. Max Factor Lipfinity. It's got a nice doe applicator. I love the feeling of this lipstick. Let's do the top. Okay, now that I like. The reason I like this particular lipstick is, number one, it's matte, but it dries satiny. Number two, it's got a little bit of a brightness to it. I found a lot of the matte lipsticks. There's another one here by Maybelline called Stay Sure Matte. It's like a, you know, it's got a doe. Again, the color was so totally different than the package. Again, too drying. But this one seems to go on in a lighter, calmer, less heavy matte way, but it is matte. So show the color. Okay, and this I've worn now several days, or several hours, trying to, see how it reacts, and it does not dry down my lips, but it is on there after 3 or 4 hours, no problem. So that's the look. The only thing that's different are the lips, and I think hopefully you learned a little bit about matte lipsticks and lipstick and masks as I did. But these is the makeup technique. I put foundation and powder, cream blush and powder, and then I reapplied a little bit of brightener with the blush, powder blush. So it's that layering. Eyes lasted perfectly. I don't know why. I think it was just the foundation on the base, and then the type of eyeshadow that I used. I just found it was no problem at all. It stayed, secure on my face. So if you've got any products that you have discovered that work really well in hot climate, or when you're wearing a mask, or you just want it to last for several hours if you're going out 6 or 12 hours, please put your comments in the section below. Let's learn from each other. This is what makeup's all about. I'm not about sort of recommending one brand over the other. I just want to figure out stuff that works for older skin, and it just helps us to feel as beautiful on the outside as we still feel on the inside. So, hope that you have a really wonderful day wherever you're going out into the world. The highlights for me here were the waterproof mascara, the lipstick, and the foundation, and the orgasm blush. Those are all favorites. But what are yours? Okay, well, take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day. I'm just going to double check and make sure before I say goodbye that I've rubbed everything in. It's so hard doing this into your telephone. Have a really nice day, everybody. Take good care. Bye-bye for now.